Freeform is Apple's first-party software for diagrams and whiteboarding. In this video, I'm going to show you 10 tips and tricks and also some examples of what kind of diagrams can we draw in this great free software. Alright, let's get started. How can we save our freeform board as a proper PNG image? Actually, there's a middle step to it. So first head to File, Export Board as PDF. Then you will need to open up that PDF. It should open in the default preview on your Mac. And from here, it's really simple. Just click File. And now we can export the PDF into any other format we need, PNG included. So I can now very quickly switch the format of this PDF into PNG and even decide on resolution, as all of my elements are vector based, so it will nicely scale to a proper resolution for me. And here it is. This is a regular image, and take a look, pretty sharp one. Alright, so that's how you save your board from Freeform into a PNG. Simply save it as PDF and then export that PDF to an image format. What if we got so many elements in our freeform artboard and then we want to connect them very quickly? We got two options. The first one is the classic one when you select a connecting line from the shape menu, and then you simply adjust that. Stick one end to one object and another one to another object, and that's it. And this is rather slow method, so I recommend something else. Instead of doing that, click the connectors mode here at the bottom right. Easy to me, it's a very tiny button. If you activate this once, from now on, whenever you click on the shape, you will see those arrows, and you can pull lines out of them and very quickly make all of necessary connections. In addition, you will be 100% sure that there are sticky connections that will be not affected by the shape relocation. Alright, so simply activate this special mode for adding connections quickly. You can switch this off, that's the regular view. You turn it on again, you will see those arrows when you can pull lines out of them. Keep in mind, those lines can be modified, so I can easily add arrowheads. I can change this to be a squarish like line like that, or maybe a curvy one if I like, and then modify the curve of it as well. So everything is manageable here, and of course thickness of it and the color. Alright, many people are not aware of this special mode for quick connections. And one more thing, when you turn it on and you kind of drag the line out, there's nothing in, like you didn't connect it to the shape, you like connecting here to the blank space, they will ask you what shape would you like to create at the very end. So this is also another method of adding more blocks to your diagram thanks to this connecting mode. Let me show you how you can use Apple Freeform to create a mind map. First, we need to start with the main idea of our mind map, and for that I will select a shape. Any shape really, but I like to stick with those circular oval shapes, so I head with the circle, but I will stretch it a bit so I got more space to type inside. At this point you can decide that you want to put like a solid color inside or no fill, and just use the outside line like that. Okay, and then double tap on it. Feel free to modify the text. You can change the font size and color easily. Alright, so we got the main idea. And how can you make those branches? The fastest way for that is to turn on this connectors mode here. Take a look, a very tiny icon at the bottom right. Click it on. Now it's turned on. It will stay on for a while. As you can see, from each direction of the shape I got this arrow. If I click this arrow, click and hold, I can make a line. And then they will ask me, do you want to insert shape at the end of this line? Yes. So let's go with another oval shape. Here it is. They also remember my settings, so I don't need to modify color or anything like that. But of course I can give each branch separate color, so I can do it of course here, same. Alright, and then we got like double tap, and it should be for team sports, and I will stick with the color theme for this And I can make a leaf, so I can go even more further and just simply click the arrow, drag it out, select the shape, and we're creating a mind map very quickly. Alright, so that's how you do it. You just need to set up the first shape, and then you need to turn on your connectors mode, and you will be able to just simply drag out those lines, and they will automatically put the next shape in the same color as the previous one. So take a look. Now I'm dragging this out from the center, so they gave me back my violet color. Of course, for this branch I can go with the orange, and when I drag it out again, it will be orange here. Okay, so that's how you can very quickly create your own mind map in Freeforms from Apple. How can we create a proper Venn diagram in Apple Freeform? Let's head to the shape menu. We're going to select an oval shape, a circle. Then we need to scale it up a bit. You can hold Shift or put your finger on the screen to get this nice 1:1 proportion. And the key feature of this that we need today is to reduce the opacity. So click on it, click on the color again, and instead of selecting those pre-made colors, click this like rainbow-like show more colors. It will give you the color field pop-up like that when you can select a custom color, but you can also reduce the opacity to 50%. That's what we need to do for this kind of diagram. So please reduce opacity. All right, and now we can simply copy and paste this, Command C, Command V, and then you will see this overlapping area. Of course, we need to make adjustments to this second one to be a bit different color, but keep opacity 50%, so they are semi-transparent, and thanks to that we can see overlapping area between those ovals and circles. Next step will be to click at the top to add a proper text box, and then we place one text box per area, so overlapping area will receive their own text box, and simply modify the text to match what you need to represent on this kind of diagram. And that's it. I hope this was helpful. Remember, simply reduce opacity and that's enough to create a proper Venn diagram. How can we set up A4 size for our project in Freeform on Mac? Actually, by default, the program gives us this huge area. Take a look. I can zoom out and the program will keep adding the stuff around me. So it's almost like infinity long paper each direction. That's why by default we cannot like select different sizes from the menu, because it's simply adding more and more paper for you so you can continue on with your diagram or your whiteboard experience. So how can we know what will be in the picture if we print this out on A4? So we can literally set up the right zoom level. That actually matters. So you can zoom in like 150 now, or zoom out a little bit like 75. That will matter. And then here at the bottom left we got this scene menu, when we can add a scene. Okay, so I captured this scene and now I got option to export that as a PDF or print that scene. If I go to print the scene settings, now I can select the paper size from here. As you can see, in my region is A4 by default, and I also print it out here. So if I, let's say, zoom in a bit and do the very same thing again, I add a scene. And now for the second scene, I will select print scene. Again, everything is a bit larger, but it's still fitting in on my A4 paper. So that's one way of doing that. Of course, if you are planning to send this in the digital channels, not print it out on paper, we can also export the scene as the regular PDF. And here's the PDF. All right, but how can we know what aspect ratio is suitable for an A4 paper? For that, I have prepared a little graphic for myself. Why back? Take a look. Okay, so I got this frame that I exported from A4 paper, and I always know that this is exactly the same aspect ratio as A4 page. So sometimes I use that to be sure that I got exactly composition I need in my project. So if you want to grab this little frame, I will drop the link in the description, so feel free to download it for free. And that's how you can really print out or save your document in the specific page size. By default, it's all boundless, so we can keep zooming out. So zoom in and out is not only cosmetical, it's actually a big part of the program, so depends on your zoom level, you will get this kind of size exported later on, and you can use this scene menu here at the bottom for your advantage. Let me show you how you can use Apple Freeform on your Mac to create a fishbone diagram. Let's start with the shape tool. We need a head of that fish, and that's the place when we kind of define the problem. I like to draw an oval like that, and then I take another oval, make this one way larger, select both, and we got those actions we can apply between two shapes. In my case, I'm going to apply subtract. So the top shape, cut the hole in the bottom shape, and I will end up with very nice shape for this fish head. And that's where you define the problem. Double tap, and you can write it down. You may adjust the color of the text, you may make the text bold, and also you can adjust the size of the font as well. You can adjust the color of the shape itself too. Alright, I'm going to draw a very simple rectangle across, just like that, with exactly same color as the head of the fish. So now I can be joining different ideas to it, different categories. To do that, you can simply use the line tool. Go with the line, join the line to this main bone, like that, with a bit of angle. Use the text tool, and at the top we can write down the title for this whole category. So, personal, for example, again, you can select the text, make it bold, make it a bit larger if you like. And now we can use this category to kind of list up everything that is related to personal for this problem. So again, you can use the text box and simply list this here like a bullet point list. Alright, and with lists like that, we can now align that to the left. We can make it into bullet points if you like, or just keep it as a simple list like that. And then you can use a bit of space bar to make those adjustments to align with your line. And you got persona finished. Now you simply copy this whole thing, those three elements, title, the line, and all of those details, Command C to copy, Command V to paste, and then you can start making another bone. And if you need another one, as you may guess, at the bottom part, it will be rather similar. We simply need to shift the angle a bit to match it from this side. For the text, we will need to modify it slightly because now we got different angle of the line, so it will be more like that, and then using spacebar from the top. I know it's not ideal method, but I found this one to be the fastest one. Is way faster than putting each line as the separate box. Alright, and that's template for the fishbone diagram. If you like to add some cosmetic finish at the end, like tail of the fish, you can also close that with something like that. So we can make two ovals together. Okay, and then we can again use some kind of subtraction between them, so we can end up with some kind of fish tail like shape. Keep it in the same color. As you may notice, I did not unite those three shapes. Why? Because I can now keep expanding this if I need. I can make this line longer, whatever I need, and keep adding stuff, or other ways around, I can make it shorter as well. Alright, so that's your fishbone diagram in general. So you put those categories, a link to the main fish, you could say, and each bone got like details here. So the trick is to split it into certain bones, don't mix it up together, so then you can see it as the separate entities here, pointing to the same problem. So for example, you got personal, maybe this material here, and then you will kind of list up different supplies that you need for this kind of project. Alright, so that's what it is. I hope this was helpful. Remember, you can always click File and export this board as PDF, or you can snap a quick screenshot of it, and the zoom level matters. If I zoom out, I will have a lot of white area around my diagram, so don't forget to zoom in exactly to the view you like, and then export this as your PDF. How can we use Apple Freeform to create a simple network diagram? Let's explore built-in shapes. If you click on the shape group here at the very top, you will have option to search for certain shapes from the search menu, or you can browse them by categories. You can head to places if you want to get this command icon for the word for the internet access. You can get that, and that's going to be a nice starting point into our diagram. I'm guessing that you will have some PCs to connect together in your network, so we can head to work and search for a PC symbol. This one will do. If you got symbol you like, you can simply copy and paste, so Command C, Command V, Command C, Command V. So let's say I got 3 computers, and they're going to connect to some kind of router that is connected to the internet. Very basic network diagram. All right. Unfortunately, for the router, we need to kind of build the icon ourselves, so we can head to geometrical shapes. We can use something like that. This can be used for databases or for routers as well. And we can add a bit of a Wi-Fi icon to it to indicate that we got a Wi-Fi connection from it. So let's head here again, and this time we need to search for Wi-Fi icon. If you don't know which group it is, you can try to search for it like Wi-Fi, and then you got named shapes. So this one over here. All right. If you select 2 shapes together like that, you can option to group them. We can combine those 2 shapes, and from now on they will act like a single shape. Alright, let's draw lines. The fastest way is to connect them with the connection mode. Turn it on here at the bottom right, and from now on you will see those arrows. You can just pull the arrow out and stick it to another object. Alright, if you prefer your lines to kind of bend like this, you can adjust that setting by clicking on the line. So click on the line, change how they will connect. Okay. As you may notice, those lines are proper sticky diagramming lines. So if I move the object after I draw the line will follow my object. So that's a good part. All right. And now we need to connect the router to the internet as well. So I draw one more line here. And that's our simple network diagram. You can make some color adjustments if you like. And then you can export this as PDF. So you can click File, Export as PDF, or you can simply snap a quick screenshot. You can press Command-Shift number 4 on your Mac and just draw around this area to have a quick screenshot. Or you can even use this built-in Share button to share this board using Apple services. Alright, so that's how easy it is to draw a simple network diagram in Apple Freeform. Keep in mind, we could import additional shapes or shapes following certain standards to this program, just add them as graphics, and then we can also do it this way with a proper shape if you want a certain shapes from a certain standard. Let me show you how we can capture local snapshots of the diagram in Freeform. This is super helpful if you got really big diagram or you like to zoom in really close. So let's say I'm zooming like that, showing this orange part of the diagram. I want to save it as the snapshot. I can open this scene menu here at the bottom, the little star icon. Take a look, we can add scene, and this is now saved. Then I can head to another part of my diagram, like here at the top, and I can again add a scene here. And all of those scenes will be saved in this handy menu. Take a look, we can jump between those scenes. Very handy. More than that, if somebody in your team is outside the software, or you simply want to insert those scenes in like presentations or documents, you can also export them. So I can export scene 1 as the print screen, so this would be a regular image, or as the PDF. So I can save this as a PDF. Take a look, that's a little PDF exporting only part of my diagram. So that's going to be really helpful if you got a huge diagram or you simply want to hide part of your board. It's like work in progress, it's a bit messy, you just want to snap this area and show that. And the second option will give us the print menu of your computer. So if you got a printer plugin and you head here, you will have this pop-up and you can print it on paper straight away. So that's handy as well. In addition, we can of course delete the scene in any moment or replace it. Alright, so let's delete the scene, it's gone. Let's delete the scene and it's gone. So as I mentioned, this is extremely helpful if your diagram is really large or it's pretty messy and you don't want to show everything at once, so you want to hide some elements of it, or you simply want those shortcuts to jump from one end to another using that. Alright, so this is a new addition to this great diagramming software from Apple. Now we can make scenes and we can easily jump between them, so you can literally do the whole presentation inside this program. So you can like set up 10 different scenes all around and then use them as slides. So the program will jump from one area to another while you are presenting stuff. Let me show you how you can create the water circle diagram using the Freeform from Apple without drawing. Very quick method with shapes and symbols. So let's get started. Click shapes here at the top. As you can see, there are multiple different vector shapes built in the program, so we just need to select correct ones, like this tree for example. We can have tree, you can have more than one, and of course we can adjust the color of it. We don't need a blue tree, so let's change the color, or you can even open the color spectrum and select custom color. I'm going to do that. Alright, and for this one, something like this. Okay, so we kind of see this as forest, nature. You can make additional copies of the same shape if you like. Simply Command C, Command V. Alright, and that will be one part of my picture. Now I need a body of water here on the right. So I head to nature and select this river. I will make it blue, and then I will select additional shape in basics, like this oval one. And I will kind of unite it together. So select both shapes, click here, and you can combine those shapes. You can have vector operation unite, and this way we get this body of water. Okay, what's next? We need clouds. So let's again head to nature. That's a good place to start if you're searching for stuff like that. And here it is, we got cloud, and we can add sun straight away as well. Okay. So we got white cloud. We cannot really see it on the white backdrop, so let's add a line around it, just like that. Gray line around it. Okay. And then we copy and paste Command C, Command V, and turn it into a rainy cloud. So now we can make it gray, and we can add additional water drops. If you don't know where to search for certain symbol, there's a search bar at the top. Take a look. You type water, you will have all of the symbols related to water, like this water drop. Alright, I'm going to scale it down. So just pull the corner down to make it smaller, and then I will use Command C to copy, Command V to paste, and I will paste it several times. I copy it once and I can paste it a few times. Now I can select all three together, holding Shift, Command C, Command V, copy and paste again. All good. It's time to unite all of that into singular shape. So even the different shapes are not overlapping, you can still unite them nicely like that. Okay. So we got our symbols out. Now we just need to add arrows, and we can also type some explanation on certain arrows. To do that, head to your shapes and search for symbols for arrows. That should be in basic. At the very top, we got those vector arrows, or we got those shape-like arrows. So it's be up to you to decide. I will stick with the vector one. So line arrow like that. It's a rather straight line, so you can also use this line here, vector line, when you can bend it like that. And as you may notice, there's no arrowhead on it, but don't worry, we can add it. So let's add the arrowhead. Here it is. Perfect. I want this to be a thick line like that. You can change the color as well if you like. Okay. And now we need to point from one shape to another, creating a kind of circle. Okay, so this is pointing from this forest here. All right, and now I will just copy this whole arrow, Command C, Command V, and adjust one end and another end. Command C, Command V. Command C, Command V. And Command C, Command V. All right, one final element is to add a text to it. So now we simply need to add a bit of text to explain each arrow, each process. You can use this text tool over here, add text, you will get this little text box when you can simply type. We can modify the color of the text. We can make it bold and even a bit larger if you like. All right. Then I will copy this whole text frame for each arrow. And with all arrows labeled, our diagram is ready. We can save it now as a PDF. Click File, Export Board as PDF. Or you can also snap a quick screenshot if you like. So Command Shift number 4 on my Mac. I can snap a quick screenshot like that. And done. All right, that's how easy it is to create the water circle diagram. If you need another diagram, you can also do it in the similar manner. You can use existing symbols here, then add arrows and label with the text tool at the end. How to draw a bow tie diagram using Apple Freeform. I created a new board and now I'm going to start with the center even shape. For that, I prefer to use this oval, this circle. So click Shapes and the circle. You can make it a bit larger if you like, but remember to maintain the proportion like 1:1, hold Shift or put the second finger on your screen. All right, let's type in what this event is all about. We can also change the color of the shape easily, place it in the middle, and then on the left we will do some prevention, some causes, and on the right recovery, consequences. So to do that, we simply need to draw additional shape. In my case, the rectangle with rounded corners is the choice. That's the very popular one. And now I want to turn on also the connectivity mode. That's the perfect for diagrams. If you click this on, you will see those arrows, and this will allow you to drag out the line and follow up with another shape, but also drag out the line and connect to another existing shape like that. All right, so that's what we're going to use for it. So let's say we got some calls here. If you like to change the size of the text, font, color of it, all of the text control tools are here. All right, and you'll probably have more than one here on the left side. So I'll just duplicate that. And again, using the connectivity, we can connect that. If you like to adjust the style of the line, it's also possible from here. Okay, and on the right side, we will have consequences, so it's pretty similar. I will actually make a copy of the cause. On this side, we should use something like red to show that this is kind of after and before. We got two different opposite colors. And again, there will be probably more than one. So you can simply copy and paste. In my case, I'm on Mac, so just Command C, Command V will do. you will need to use connecting lines, and keep in mind that proper sticky diagramming lines means if I move something, all of the lines should stick to designated objects and still be aligned with them. We can also do an additional line in the middle. So for that, you can just grab a line tool, make some kind of a line exactly at the center to divide those two areas. As you may guess, now we need to click Arrange and move this line to the bottom. Send to the back. This line is not that important, so I'll make it as a dash line, and I'll make it gray, not black. Alright, so here it is. If you need more explanation for your audience, you can also write down additional text using just the text tool. Here it is, the text tool, and this way you can drag this, let's say here, and we got before. So we got stuff that will cause the event, and then on the right side we got after the event already occurred. And if you need more comments on it, the text tool is over there. You can also insert images if you like, or additional shapes if you need more causes or more consequences or any additional content in your Bowtie diagram. Alright, so that's how you do it. If you want to send this as a simple image, you can also do just that by exporting. You can export as PDF first, and then you can turn the PDF into an image, or you can snap a quick screenshot. Like on Mac, we can press just Command-Shift-4 and draw the screenshot area around it, and you will end up with a quick screenshot of your diagram. Alright, I hope this was helpful. See you in the next one.